So I don't know if you know this, but the Tesla holiday update is finally out.
I indeed wrote the holiday down. So I
You
guess
wrote the holiday
I
down?
wrote
Yeah.
down the
Okay.
holiday. So I guess
You
you could
wrote
say
down the holiday.
I know of it.
Games. Games were the big focus this time around.
Uh-huh. Sure.
We got Solitaire,
Yeah.
Polytopia,
Yeah.
with multiplayer support.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you know this, but we can actually play them while driving.
Did,
And there's a big message that says that only the passenger must drive, must play the game.
did you
Of
really
course.
did you really just ignore Cat Quest? Put some respect on that game's name.
I haven't played that one yet. I haven't touched upon that one yet. Does that one have multiplayer support?
I do not believe so, no. It's a single player game.
Well, I like multiplayer games, Dennis. Okay, we're moving on. So you could play them while driving.
Yes.
And Elon Musk has gone on Twitter and asked, hey, I mean, multiple times, hey, what game should we add? Hey, what games would you like to see?
Mhm.
What should we do with multiplayer?
Mhm.
We actually saw Tesla earlier this year expand their game development firm hiring process. They were hiring game developers.
Mhm.
It's clearly a focus of the company.
Yes.
Do you think it should be? Do you think Tesla's carved their niche in with gaming, with apps in their interface? Do you think it's something other manufacturers are going to jump in on? Or do you think this is going to strictly be Tesla's selling point?
Well,
Hey, you can play games, you can download apps, play some chess.
well, I think it's an important distinction to make that I don't think any of these games were Tesla original games. They were all ported
Mm-hmm.
over,
Yeah.
which, whilst does take work, is not the same amount of work as creating a game from scratch. So I don't think they are sinking too much time into creating games for the Tesla suite. Um, in regards to, do I think they should continue doing it? It's definitely always newsworthy whenever they do it. You know, you don't really expect any sort of games to appear in your car, and especially games that are kind of full-featured games. Like we had Cuphead, even though it was only half the game, but still, that's a recognizable game and a fully fledged game. That's not like Pong or something. And then you had
I would like Pong.
then you had Stardew Valley, another fully fledged game. So it's definitely very interesting to see your Tesla turn into a console. And I don't know, it gives it that little spice to ownership. They definitely seem to be prioritizing it more than I think most people would expect. I know it's not a game, but their tracks, which is their music creation software, also has a decent amount of like effort put into it, and recently,
Which they just
yeah,
released the second version of it.
recently had an update. And I thought when it originally came out, it was just a fun little gimmicky toy to play around with, but then they continued updating it, and I'm like, huh, that's pretty interesting, because this has absolutely nothing to do with cars, car ownership, anything like that. It's just a fun thing to do while you're charging or just waiting for a friend or something. So it gives it that a little bit magic, a little bit of I don't know. I'm trying to find the right word. It helps people, owners, connect with their cars or something more than just like a tool. It makes it seem like Tesla does care about the owners and the fans, and they keep trying to give them cool stuff to do. I do think it's a bit weird, or a bit funny at least, that we continuing to add more games, stuff to do in your downtime while charging, while at the same time we're working on faster charging, to which this shouldn't be something you have to account for. So I'm wondering what this release windows is going to look like when chargers get to like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, when you don't even really have time to sit down for 20 minutes to play a game.
Well, in Tesla's theoretical future, in their utopia, they're relying on robotaxis, and you need some form of entertainment
Yes.
But let me take a step back from that real quick
Mm-hmm.
and just make a strong note,
Mm-hmm.
because it seems that I see a lot of people saying like, "Oh, what other car can you play games in?"
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the Chrysler Pacifica has had solitaire in it for like 5 years. Okay, Tesla did not invent gaming in cars.
Wait, hold
They
up.
did not invent. They did not invent movies in
Hold up.
cars.
I need
Now it
I
is.
need a citation for that solitaire.
It is a much better experience. But you have been able to put a disc into a Chrysler Pacifica and watch a movie for like 10 years now.
Yes,
So
but the
it
screen
is
wasn't as
different.
big.
It is very different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We do have multiplayer support, the higher end screen, higher end games,
Mm-hmm.
full games. They're not. How do I say dog without saying dog?
You just said it.
Well, oh well. So the Tesla is by far much better.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to stress that, but the note needs to be made.
Mhm.
Tesla did not invent games in cars.
Okay. Very strong
But
feelings
again,
about that, bud. Who hurt you on Twitter that you had to?
a lot of people hurt me.
Okay.
So in Tesla's world, in their future,
Mm-mm.
they're really relying on robotaxis, and no one wants to just sit in the back of a self-driving Uber and play on their phone. Why would you do that when you could sit in the front seat and play on the car? Just makes more sense. Why watch Netflix on your phone when you could watch Netflix on a screen that's 5 times larger than your phone?
You got me there.
Is internet based entertainment a priority for vehicles now?
Uh,
Do you think anyone's buying a Tesla based off it being future proof, not in terms of full self driving, but in terms of entertainment?
no. I'm pretty sure I wrote that in one of our articles when we talked about UIs. And whilst no one's, in my opinion, buying a car, a Tesla, because you can watch Netflix unless they have an absolutely terrible home life and want to get away as much as possible. My condolences to whoever that is. Unless they're in that situation, I don't think anyone's specifically buying a Tesla because of the Twitch support, YouTube support, whatever support. But it does give that slight edge when you're, comparing two cars, a Model S to a Taycan, for example, and you're like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
styling, I'm good on both. Performance, I enjoy both. Pricing, even though it's different, I can, still splurge on the Porsche, whatever. But, would be kind of nice to watch Netflix in the Model S, so, go there. But I don't think anyone's gonna go for that. Now, if we're in the perfect utopia world where robotaxis work and there's multiple companies with robotaxis and Tesla being one of them, if there's a situation where, it's a Tesla with internet connectivity and all the appropriate apps with them, or some other self-driving car from some other company that doesn't have those entertainment features, then I can see that people will have a stronger preference to getting into a Tesla robotaxi than whatever competitors they have in this hypothetical.
But you don't think in that world other automakers would also put a focus on that? I feel like it's one of the easiest things to do. Just put a tablet in a car. It's not something that other automakers can get behind on. I feel like if anyone truly needed to, they just stick a Windows device on the back on the front of a car and call it a day.
Yeah, but you don't.
So
I mean,
why do it today?
because Windows on a tablet is a terrible experience. But that's just besides the point. Obviously, obviously, just from a brand standpoint, you go in and see a Windows tablet glued onto a dashboard, it cheapens the entire car. I mean, that's just almost fact. So obviously, companies want to integrate whatever entertainment they have into their own UI design, whatever. But I think at this point, that is so far in the back of every automaker's minds because they're trying to figure out, platforms, batteries, electric motors, charging infrastructure, and stuff like that.
Autonomy.
Autonomy. That the UI experience and little fun games here and there, it's on the very bottom of the list. Like I said, it's kind of unusual for Tesla to be putting this much effort into these little games and little programs within the car, because I don't know about you, but I wouldn't expect it out of a car,
And
period.
it costs money because they have to pay for these games, I'm assuming. Polytopia, I don't know if you know this, comes with all of the in-app characters.
Mm.
That's like a, I don't know, a $50 package if I would have downloaded the app and pay for all the characters. Someone's got to pay for that licensing.
So, well, maybe it's like an advertising deal. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, but money had to be put, time had to be put to port it, right? So it's I wouldn't in this situation, I wouldn't say that since Tesla is doing it, I expect other companies to do it, because this is such a like a left field thing to put effort into, that I can't realistically expect BMW or like Mercedes
Well,
or
here's the
Audi
thing.
to create something like this.
Do you think Tesla will eventually create an app store and start charging people for games?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they already charge you. I think it's like 10 a month or $100 a year for the premium connectivity package, which comes with internet. I think it comes with streamable radio,
mhm.
satellite maps. I'm not too certain on the specifics,
Okay. Well,
but I don't know if you know this. When you Now that you can drive while playing games, the passenger can play games while you drive.
mhm.
The theater screen actually opens and tells you to connect to Wi-Fi. Now I connected to Wi-Fi while in my driveway in Drive just to see what would happen if I would be able to watch Netflix,
Mhm.
and it didn't do anything. It didn't allow me to open it. It still said connect to Wi-Fi even though I was connected to Wi-Fi.
Mhm.
Question is, will there be a premium connectivity package that now allows you to watch Netflix while driving?
That's
Or
not
again,
that.
while under Robotaxi, assuming regulations allow it.
Okay. Well,
There's a lot of money to be made
how
in this.
would that work logistically when who pays for those packages? Is it the person, is it the owner of the Robotaxi? And then they just do it for the goodness of their customers? Or
Well, I
are the
think we will
customers gonna
see.
have like premium package assigned to their account, and when they
Well,
step
this is
into a
something they could do
Tesla,
right now,
it
though.
unlocks?
But this is something they can do right now. We've already seen them unlock gaming for passengers. Now they can unlock Netflix for passengers if they wanted
No,
to.
but is that how you are foreseeing this? Because I'm going for like, these games are fun, and especially because they're free, they're fun. And we're working towards a world where you don't have to charge for 30 minutes in your car. So the value of having video games or other entertainment in the car while charging is going to diminish. So why would I pay for more games in the future? Because I'm not going to spend as much time charging. So I would have to imagine that if
What
there's an
about
app store
Netflix while
that's going to be
driving
for
itself?
robotaxis.
Uh huh.
So
Yes.
how would you envision this hypothetical?
Well,
How does a Tesla have a new game? Is it the owner purchase it and then anyone who's in the robotaxi can play that game, or is it going to be on?
Tesla as a software based company, it would be very easy for them to just unlock every feature for those using the Robotaxi network and then relock anything not purchased for the owner. So, I mean, just strictly software speaking, it's possible for them to just separate Robotaxi versus the owner driving the car if
Sure.
they
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah. So that's.
So
Mhm.
I don't think they'd put no, they wouldn't tell the owner, hey, you can pay for this and then you can allow Robotaxi users because they're not going to separate the cost based on games. So I think if in your theoretical, I think all games would be unlocked for passengers and then the owner themselves would have to pay. You know what I mean? Like heated seats, for example.
Mhm.
Right now, heated seats only come with the standard range plus, not the standard range Model 3.
Mhm.
But it's software based. The equipment's there.
Mhm.
The same with let's say internet package, the internet connectivity. I think if the cars were on a robotaxi network, I think anyone using the robotaxi would be allowed to use the internet regardless of whether or not the owner paid for internet connectivity.
Mhm. This is all strictly hypothetical, though. We have no idea.
So I mean, this is such a good money making position to be in. There,
I'm just saying, video games from an app store point of view, I in the future, I don't
If
think they're going to be worth
if
as
they
much.
charged an extra $15 a month or $10 a month for an extra premium connectivity package, the internet connectivity package SpaceX edition that uses Starlink and now allows you to stream Netflix while driving, do you think they'd make money off that? Do you think the million Teslas on the road today, what percent of them would purchase that extra $10 a month?
Well, assuming the governmental regulation ban hammer doesn't come down on Netflix while driving.
I mean, I could just pick up my phone and watch Netflix while driving.
Yeah, but
They actually have the same notification now that iPhones do. This is that only the passenger can open this up when you try to go play a game. So even, I mean, I know we're speaking like future in a Robotaxi world, but this is all doable in the near future today.
No, I think people would support an app store, and it's definitely a revenue stream. But I'm wondering how many people that aren't, quote unquote Tesla fanatics would care, and how many people actually take time to like play the games that Tesla puts on the car. So I feel like my view of an average Tesla owner is definitely skewed towards the more fanatical rather than the more apathetic.
Well, what about things that everyone uses like Netflix? Don't narrow it down to games. Just in general,
I don't know, bro. It's
streaming Netflix. Everyone watches movies.
I'm not doubting the vibe, but it's more comfortable to sit down on a couch and watch Netflix on a big, 50
Oh, well,
plus
let's say
inch
you're on
screen
a
TV
drive.
than
You're on a drive. You can't go back to your house and sit down and watch that. You're on a drive. What else are you gonna do? Right now, you pay attention to the road because you have to.
well, I'm still, because I'm a safe person. I'm still pay attention to the road. What are you talking about?
So Robotaxis come out.
Well, then yeah.
You're sitting in the driver's seat and still paying attention to the road.
I don't know. I'm probably on my phone, but I'm just not a big Netflix
You're not watching
dude.
Netflix
So
on the horizontal screen. You're not watching YouTube videos.
I'm not watching Netflix on your screen. I'm only
You're not
watching Netflix on a
casting-
Model 3 or Y screen.
You won't cast your phone screen to the larger screen and the better surround sound.
Nah, because then I gotta like turn my head like 30 degrees to the right and a little bit down, and I'm gonna get a neck strain. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but just I don't, I'm not doing backflips over it.
So you don't see a big revenue stream here. It's still very gimmicky. It's not worth Tesla's time to develop an app store.
No, I think whilst it's not a humongous revenue stream, I think it's enough of a revenue stream that it's worth the effort. But, I don't think it's, it's not going to turn into the Apple App Store, but it's still going to be, I think a decent number of people would pay the $5 or whatever, $8-10 for a game on their Tesla, or whatever price they want, or like a Game Pass type of thing where it's a monthly subscription to whatever.
Which, by the way, we have the internal camera in the Model 3 and Y, and it's rumored to come to the S and X.
Mm-hmm.
They could theoretically just confirm that the driver is paying attention to the road and allow Netflix to be watched by the passenger, like today. This isn't something that's so far into the future.
Can you imagine every time the driver takes off the eyes off the road inadvertently, they just pauses or shuts down the entire app?
I think that's the way it would have to go for regulations. I think they would only allow it if they had a camera watching the driver until full self-driving is fully like legalized and released and we're allowed to have robo-taxis.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them doing it any other way.
Well, circling back to your initial question, automakers focusing on these more little fun software tidbits, I don't think is going to be a big thing anytime soon. They got too much other things to worry about. Maybe.
So you think Tesla has an upper hand here?
Maybe, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, maybe a decade down the line, maybe when robotaxis are an actual thing, and then passenger entertainment is higher up on the priority list because they've already figured out the car, the autonomy, and all that stuff. Then we might see companies branch out to entertainment features within their car. But I mean, we've seen a decent number of concepts for the next 3 years, and a lot of these concepts do talk about what their UI is going to look like or what type of features you can expect from their operating system. And as far as I know, not a single person has said the word games in their, little blurb about what their touchscreen can do and that stuff. So it's so far down the priority list.
It's just not a selling feature today. Like you said,
No.
no one's buying a Model 3 because it can play games.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have, but no one's buying the car because of that. They'll buy the car because of the better range, better specs over everything else, but not because of the games.
Yeah.
And like I said, anyone can just strap a iPad into the back seat and call it a day. If Ford wanted to enter Robotaxi network tomorrow with the Mach-E, assuming that somehow they magically got the tech possible to do it, they could just strap an iPad to the back. It doesn't need to be built in.
Yeah.
So unless Tesla is planning on an app store, and they're planning to make this into a revenue stream, I don't see why they would be investing into it.
I mean, like we talked about in our advertising video, it gets them in the news. I mean, I don't know the amount of effort it takes to port some games over or to create Solitaire. Can't imagine it's the most arduous thing. But they add games, they bolster up their update, and for 2 weeks they're in the news. What's in the update? Here's what's in the update. Here's how we feel about things in the update. Concurrently comes out and keeps them in the news, especially during the end of their quarter when they're trying to push as many cars as possible. You gotta be in the news cycle as much as possible. And it gets people to brag about look at the cool thing my car can do. There's definitely
What's your favorite
odor satisfaction.
What's your favorite Tesla entertainment feature?
Cuphead, because that was the first like big game that wasn't like no, Beach Buggy Racing 2 was alongside Cuphead, right?
Beach Buggy Racing 2 was the most that they changed a game. They have drivable Teslas. I think the game was made for Tesla, was it not?
I think
can you get that elsewhere?
I think they added Teslas in that version.
Okay.
So, so that's what I'd say. That really started the, I start to think like, oh wow, we're gonna put some actual games into this. So that's my favorite feature.
Do you have any game requests?
Ooh.
What game what do they need to add in terms of entertainment for it to finally be a selling point? Do they have to add like a built-in PS5? Would that be a selling point? If you could just put in a disc for a PS5 game?
I just don't want to consume any media seriously in a car. For me, a car is a car. And all these things, like we said, are nice, but I just, once again, unless I'm in a bad home life and I just want to avoid everyone, I don't know why I would play, Demon Souls on the PS5 in my car when I could just play it in my living room.
You're just driving. You're just on the road. You're
Uh,
on a road trip.
I don't know. I mean, maybe
Tell
on
me
a
you don't get bored on road trips?
yeah, but I don't go on that many road trips, long road trips to justify like the need for a whole console in my car.
So you don't have
I don't have a be all end all feature
there's no
that I
game
want.
you want to see? There's no form of entertainment you want to see done?
Put Forza in there. I want to race while I'm in a car. That's or a racing game where they actually allow me to use the steering wheel.
Beach Buggy.
No, but like a like a Gran Turismo, like a Forza, like a Project Cars type of game.
All I know is that they need to make chess easier. I watched the Queen's Gambit, okay? And I still can't beat the level 2 guy. What's his name? Joshua?
They
They made it too hard.
It's because you keep trying to do the Queen's Gambit to start each game, and you just don't know
Listen,
how to play anything after the Queen's
why
Gambit.
name the show The Queen's Gambit if it's not the go-to move?
Because it's like a metaphor for the show, because she's like a woman who's risking stuff in real life or something like that. I didn't watch the show. I just know what you told me.
Listen, make chess easier, add Minesweeper, and I want to play Pong with the person charging next to me at a supercharger.
Oh, I need
That's all I
Minecraft.
want.
That's what I need.
I don't know, man. That's owned by Microsoft. Bill doesn't like Elon. Never gonna happen. I think we could add that to the list of things that will never happen. Minecraft on a Tesla.
Shoot.
Maybe we'll get one of those knockoff Minecrafts. Maybe we'll get Roblox.
Tesla Craft. I'll take Roblox as a consolidation.
We'll get Roblox or a Fortress Craft.
Fall Guys, Among Us, whatever's hot right now with the kids. Put it on there. I mean, how
would you pay monthly for an online multiplayer service for Tesla?
No. I mean, wait, just online, not like a Game Pass type of thing. Just having online connectivity for my games
to play Fall Guys.
Man, I would just feel like a pretty silly man if I just sit down and play Fall Guys maybe once a month in my car. You know, I'd be like, damn, I paid whatever amount of money monthly to play online, and I'm just using it once a month. So I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I'm the right demographic for this.
The guy who plays video games all day says that he will not pay for a video game subscription. I think.
Yeah, you need to go find the guy who's in his car like 16 hours a day. Then we can get the other end of the spectrum. If he doesn't want to pay for it, then there's no hope.